There's this feeling I get when watching the 1994 Yu Hakusho opening. It's a feeling of warmth and content. As the four rays of light overlap one another to form the title, with Small Bomb coming on in the background, I get filled with overwhelming excitement. This opening is by no means a directory masterpiece or anything as good as something like the Mob Psycho opening, losing out to its inherent quality and the intricate placement of funny yet relevant Easter eggs. The animation itself is average, even in terms of 1990 standards. The content of the opening is nothing too special either, just Yusuke and friends running around and defeating demons. But to me, this opening is 1,000 times more powerful than any other. It may just be my nostalgia, but it's unmistakably true that I'm able to rewatch Yu Hakusho over and over and over again. This is even more true for the entire series as a whole, something I can't and won't do for, say, Dragon Ball, which also made up a large part of my childhood. About a year or two ago, I made a video on why I think anyone in love with shonen should watch Yu Hakusho. However, for a show that made my childhood and stands as one of my favorite media series ever, the video itself was mediocre, not worth watching, and Yu Hakusho deserves better than that. This video is meant to accomplish that goal. I hope. Before that, it would really do me a solid if you subscribe to the channel, as apparently 90% of you watching are not subscribed at all. And also please like the video as a way to further boost my ego. Thank you. The first episode starts with Yusuke Urameshi, the main character, getting into a car accident in which he saves a kid's life in exchange of his own. Botan, who in a way is the Grim Reaper but also a spirit, tells Yusuke that his death was meaningless, that the kid he saved would have had no injuries had he not done anything. However, she tells him that since Yusuke's death was a mistake, there's an ordeal that'll allow him to live again. But unlike most people, Yusuke is not bothered. He considers himself to be someone who others can live without. You see, Yusuke is a delinquent and doesn't really have the best of lives. He gets into fights every day, his mother is a deadbeat, and he has no friends except Keiko, his childhood sweetheart. It's a pretty bleak upbringing, so it's understandable for him to think that he doesn't matter. However, when Yusuke visits his funeral as a ghost, he sees the obvious truth he lived with but never noticed.
They probably just came over here because they're getting extra credit.
Keiko, please. Yusuke. No!
Is she making all that racket for me?
The people around him actually care. Keiko can be seen crying on the ground, his mother is distraught, even Kuwabara, a local thug who gets pummeled by Yusuke on the daily, is brought to tears. Of course, Yusuke has people that are happy that he's dead, but they don't matter. This scene gets to me every time I watch it. When Yusuke realizes that there actually are people around him concerned for his well-being, it's as if I can feel what he's feeling. It's that moment when you understand that what you wholeheartedly believe to be true was actually an incorrect notion. To me, this moment was one of the best scenes of the show and one that I'll remember forever. So after seeing that unforgettable scene at his own funeral, Yusuke agrees to the ordeal that'll give him a second chance at life. And this is where everything begins. Though Yusuke can now live again, his life will never be the same. Now this is where the real meat and potatoes of the series actually starts. Yusuke, after reviving, becomes a spirit detective, or in other words, a detective for the spirit world, a world full of monsters, demons, ogres, yokai, and many others. He's tasked to keep the balance of the spirit world and the human world in harmony from forces that want to cause trouble for their own selfish reasons, aka the villains within the show, and they are quite unique if I do say so myself. Each major plot villain brings with them their own desires and backstories that are just as compelling as the main characters. Yusuke doesn't have a single objective but more of a general task, the task of keeping everything in balance. This leads him to fight in tournaments, get stronger through arduous training, go to rural areas of Japan, and even fight against fellow humans. However, fear not, cause Yusuke isn't alone in his new endeavors. As cliche as it sounds, he does make friends along the way. Friends like Kuwabara, a fellow delinquent, Kurama, a A-star student who has a fairly interesting life story with a very big secret, Botan, the underwhelming Grim Reaper, Hiei, the male tsundere demon, Koenma, the toddler son of King Yama who controls the entire spirit world, and lastly of course Keiko, the love interest of Yusuke throughout the entire series. These characters might sound quite average right now, but as you learn more about them and their backstories, the more you become connected and invested in them. These characters are, in my opinion, Togashi's best written characters, Yoshihiro Togashi being the author of Yu Yu Hakusho and also a little series that he wrote afterwards that you might not have heard of called Hunter x Hunter. Yup, I think Yu Yu has better characters than Hunter x Hunter. Wait, hold on, so future me here. So at this point I was meant to explain why I think characters in Yu Yu Hakusho are better than Hunter x Hunter. But I realized that would take way too long and could be a video on its own. So if you want a video like that in the future, then please tell me in the comments below. And so back to the past me, I guess. In conclusion, Yu Yu Hakusho is what I think to be an S-tier anime, with everything from its characters, plot, music, and anything in between being one of the best I've ever watched. And it pains me to know that less and less people are even considering watching Yu Yu Hakusho nowadays. So if you're gonna take anything away from this video, then just consider giving Yu Yu Hakusho a try. This channel is based entirely on anime and I virtually recommend a new anime every video, but Yu Yu is an anime that I can't recommend enough, so please just watch it. Anyway, I hope you guys have a good one, subscribe and I'll see you on the flip side. Bye!